Hey everybody, Clark here. Hey, if you're a leader or a manager, you may know that coaching is a skill that you can use to be more effective and to empower the people that work for you. Well, I just finished this great book called The Coaching Habit, Say Less, Ask More, and Change the Way You Lead Forever, written by Bungay Stanier. It was a great book and I'd love to give you a summary. So what is coaching? Well, coaching is where one individual works with a practitioner to improve a set of skills or take action to reach a desired goal. It can be used as an individual intervention in organization development. It's a skill that can be used by leaders, managers, consultants, or you can use it as a parent or just to help a friend. At its core, coaching is where one person helps another to unlock their natural ability. So why should we care about coaching? Well, Daniel Goleman, the author of Emotional Intelligence, he lists coaching as one of the 6 essential leadership styles. Coaching empowers individuals to choose their own course of action and then learn from the results, whether positive or negative. Also, coaching helps leaders scale by empowering others to make decisions. If you're a manager and your reports come to you for all the answers, then you have become a crutch. And they will continue to lean on you for all of the answers and decisions, and they won't feel empowered or challenged to make their own decisions. And as a leader, you are much less effective if you have to make all the decisions, and it doesn't help your team grow. So why don't we coach more often? Well, first off, it takes a little more time. Even though a great coaching conversation can happen in just 5 minutes, it's much easier and faster to just give advice. Also, coaching isn't about you, it's about the individual. It's really easy for us to think, hey, this person came to me with a problem, and I've been there before, I know how to fix it, I'll give them advice. Remember, coaching is about helping the other person discover their potential. Plus, they're going to discover more, and they'll be more bought in if they control and own their decisions. So how do we build a coaching habit? Well, first, having a roadmap would be helpful, and Stanier does a great job of giving you one. The book breaks down a coaching conversation into 7 questions, starting with the Kickstart question. Then there's the question. There's questions on focus and foundation. Then we slip in a lazy question, a strategic question, and then we end with a learning question. And now this isn't meant to be a Cliff Notes version of the book, but let's go through the questions so you can see why they're important. The first question is the Kickstart question. What's on your mind? If there's not a lot of time, this question gets right to the point. It's kind of like saying, hey, let's talk about what matters most to you. The second question is the question. And what else? Now this question gives you more insight, more awareness, more options for discovery. It also helps you understand more because you're listening and they're talking. You can ask the question multiple times. Now at this point, the advice monster usually comes in. And it usually starts with something like, have you thought of, and then insert your awesome idea. This is what Stanier calls advice with a question mark. And he recommends to stop doing this because remember, coaching isn't about you and your awesome advice. It's about the other person and helping them figure out what they can do to address their challenge. Instead of letting the advice monster out, instead, ask the focus question. What's the biggest challenge here for you? Now this question forces the other person to think about the one thing that they can address. Also, you don't have to guess anymore what the challenge is. They get to tell you what the challenge is. After being clear on what the challenge is for them, it's time for the foundation question. So what do you want? Not what do you need or what do you think would be best? What do you want is like, what is your ideal outcome? It helps them figure out what are they trying to achieve. And now that you're clear on what their challenge is and what they want, you may be tempted again for the advice monster to come out. Don't do this. Instead, ask the lazy question. So how can I help? Now this question puts the responsibility on the coachee to choose what they need help with and how they need it. Now, after you're done discussing how you can help, it's time for the strategic question. If you're saying yes to this, what do you have to say no to? Now, this helps solidify the focus and identify any competing goals or competing tasks. We only have 24 hours in the day, and if you're going to be focusing on one thing, you may not have time to focus on something else. And finally, at the end of your coaching conversation, it's time to wrap up with a learning question. So what was most useful for you? Now this question helps identify important parts of the conversation. What did you learn? What were some key insights? What were important things to remember? This also gives you feedback as the coach on how the conversation went and what you should do in the future. So there you have it. 10 minutes, 7 questions, and you have yourself a great coaching conversation. So what are the key takeaways and kind of aha moments of this book? Well, first, the essence of coaching lies in helping others unlock their potential. And all that is really is a little more asking and a little less telling people what to do. Also, there's 3 vicious cycles in the office that coaching can help you overcome: creating overdependence, getting overwhelmed, and getting disconnected. If all of your reports are constantly coming to you, then they might be overdependent on you for making decisions. And as a leader, you can't scale if you're the one responsible for making all the decisions. This also leads to you being overwhelmed because everything is on your plate because nobody else is empowered to act on their own. And then finally, if you're not asking questions, then you become at risk of disconnection. Staying connected with your team and asking them questions helps you keep a finger on the pulse of how they're doing and what the challenges are. And finally, coaching doesn't have to take too long. 10 minutes, 7 questions, and you can have a great conversation to empower somebody to act. So there you have it. Again, The Coaching Habit by Michael Bungay Stanier. Fantastic read. It's 200 pages. It's a quick read, highly enjoyable. Go check it out. Until next time.